This is Gloucester Park TV, a special Gloucester Park TV in the Tab Radio studios. Greg Bond, thanks for coming in.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure.
First of all, Bungalow Bill. He's a very consistent horse. He goes around in race number 2, M1 to M3. And saying that, he has to sit probably outside of 2.5 Tigers to win this race.
Yeah, look, we just give him a little freshen up after his last run. Haven't seen him for about 3 weeks, but look, he's going pretty good at home. But yeah, a little bit tricky out wide there. So that's probably the likely scenario. We'll work forward and have to sit outside of 2.5 Tigers, who's going great guns. So he's going to be the one to beat. But look, he's forward enough to run a pretty strong race.
Bungalow Bill's a really consistent pacer. Is he just been unlucky with draws and running good races behind really good ones, or would you like to see him get past the post first to give him a little bit of confidence?
Yeah, look, that's probably why we give him a few days off. We backed him up 3 weeks in a row, and I thought his last run, even though I think he ran second, wasn't what we expected. Just a length or two off what we expected. So we just give him a few days off and go again with him. But look, he's somewhere near his top. He's going to be more than competitive in this with 2.5 Tigers and American Boy, yeah.
The Intersport Slater Gartrell, the Clark qualifying. This is heat number 3. Chardonnay, Mighty Major. Chardonnay has drawn the best. How do you assess Chardonnay? Because I remember when he first came back to racing this prep, his first up run was really good. But has he been in the form that you expected since then?
Been a bit off, changed a few things around at home, and one thing he hasn't had, he's a bit of a dour horse, and by virtue of that fact he needs to be on the speed, I think, to show his best, and he hasn't had the barrier draws lately to do that. So I'm hoping Macrahanish will probably find the top, I would have thought, from barrier 2, so we can follow him across. So tomorrow night probably gives us a chance to really assess where he's at, or Friday night I should say, and so I'd like to think with a bit of luck, with a decent run here, he should be qualifying for that final, and hopefully we'll move forward from there. And Mighty Majors just had a bit of a let up. Barrier 12 sort of puts his chances to bed a bit, but you will just be looking for him to hit the line strong and find a more suitable race.
In the free-for-all, Condrew and also I'm a Connoisseur. I'm a Connoisseur's out.
Yeah, haven't scratched him yet, but he just sprung a shoe at just pulling up at track work yesterday morning, and got it. Didn't spring it fully, and the toe clip went into the sole of his foot, so he's pretty sore this morning. So just have to poultice that for a few days and get him sorted out, so you won't see him for a couple of weeks. So Condra will be our only runner in that one, but sort of working up maybe. I think Nathan Turvey drove him last week. He was pretty happy with him and never got a crack at him. So yeah, look, we'll be looking forward to trying to find the front with him Friday night, and depending on what Better's Fire does, I guess will dictate to a degree what we do. Yeah.
Tuxedo Tour can come out of the gate as well. I think, is he first up for Ross Oliveri? He might be.
I don't think he's first up for Ross. I think he might be second. But look, I think we got his measure out of the arm. Yeah.
So if he does find the front country, it was disappointing a couple of starts back when he led over the short trip. But since then, I think he's delivered a lot better performances here.
Ran solid in the Pinjarra Cup for 5th, and last Friday night was travelling pretty good, and gave Nathan the feel that there was a bit to offer at the finish. So look, we'll try and find the pegs and make a call from there. As I said, depending on Better's Fire can fly the gate, as you know. So we'll just play that one. But whether they want to do that first up this prep is a question mark too.
We head to the feature race, the Intersport Slater Gartrell Western Gateway Pace, and this is always a good race. It's a Group 2 event worth $50,000, and you have basically the two big guns drawn alongside each other, and fortunately for you at the right end of the draw. Mitch Maguire first, barrier number 1. He's done nothing wrong this preparation. In fact, he's gone to a couple of new levels since he's come back this season.
Yeah, look, we gave him a prep early in the 3-year-old campaign season just to get a bit more racing under his belt over here. Very happy with those efforts, and gave me a nice little break without too long, but spent a lot of time on him at home, just getting him to settle. He can get a bit revvy, and sat him up his first couple of runs back, and he won those comfortably and relaxed good. And last Friday night there was a false start, so he got a little bit revved up in front. But look, talking to Colin afterwards, he said I could have anchored him, but I didn't see any point in that last lap. Look, he appears to have come back, better, and barrier 1's a big plus for him. He's got the gate speed to hold up, of course, you would think, and it's going to be a good measure. I mean, if you can't win a race like this from this barrier, you probably can't win the Derby. We'd expect him to lead and be right in the finish, hopefully winning. It'd
be very hard to beat. he's got that high speed like only really good horses have, and that's such a major asset. People think it's a major asset on those bigger tracks, but I think it's more of an asset on these smaller tracks when you can put yourself into a race all of a sudden from a position that most horses can't.
Yeah, and even a horse like Rock Diamonds, you saw that. I think when he won the Caduceus Club, Ryan went forward. She coming in for the bell, and Ryan Bell on another horse, not one of ours, actually came out in front of him a bit late, and Ryan was able to drop the foot and get around that Ryan Bell's horse very quickly at the winning post for that to go. And it gives you that little bit. If we didn't have that turn of foot, it would have been stuck out there and would have been game over. So, and this bloke's got the same. So and it is an advantage, and it's there when you need it. You don't use it when you don't need to use it, but when you do need it, it's there.
Rock Diamonds, he's a horse that was really impressive winning that Caduceus 3 starts back, and since then he's been pretty good. His run the other day behind the stablemate was first class off the track, and that really quick time.
Yeah, you look, I've got a lot of time for the horse. Probably he's a more relaxed customer than Mitch Maguire. That's probably one thing in his favour. He might not quite be there with ability with the horse, but look, he's another one that'll head to the Derby in a fortnight, and and I definitely haven't put a line through him potentially winning a race.
So you can see Rock Diamonds beating Mitch Maguire in the Derby if the draws fall his way?
Well, in a set of circumstances, yeah. Specific set of circumstances, I think Mitch Maguire's got a bit more class on him, but he's a horse that's going to be in the cut up, for sure. So with some others, Hawley's horses. I thought his run last week in the Prelude, sitting outside it, was great for a horse that's only having his 3rd race start.
How do you compare these two horses to, say, the other Derby hopes in previous years? Because you've had a pretty good run in this race.
Yeah, these two are better than the others. Yeah, they've been more high speed, and Richard Henry was dour. Seal and Printer, having said that, he ran second in Into Dominion, but at that stage, wasn't showing Into Dominion.
And the Alsu should have nearly won last year.
Yeah, well, he would have gone close had he stayed in his gate, and I think In the Force was again a bit more of a one-paced horse, So these two are probably horses that are going to, be open company horses down the track, just a matter of how far they go.
He's about to rock first up from a break, and he be a winning chance from that outside front row.
From barrier 9, I probably wouldn't be putting suggesting punters should be putting any money on him this week. But watch him. Hopefully he'll run a solid. He's forward. He'll run a solid race, but he lacks a little bit of X factor. So probably wait till he draws handy. So
I imagine Mitch Maguire's your best, but he'll probably be $1.20 come Friday night. Is there any value there?
Oh, look, probably maybe Chardonnay could bob up. He'll have the hood on, and he's one that's got the capacity to be very competitive in that race if he's somewhere near his top. Yeah.
And we see Jimmy back at Harvey on Saturday night.
It's at Bunbury. It's a Harvey Cup at Bunbury. Well, the field was dropping away a bit. I assume it'll go ahead, but I think it'll be a good race. I'm Full of Excuses was nominated for it, and a couple of other nice horses. So it'll be it won't be a walk in the park for sure and for certain.
You're a great man, Bondi. Thanks for joining us on Gloucester Park TV again.